somebody special. Now, traditionally, everything goes on Saturdays because it's run primarily by Hasidic Jews. The contracts have traditionally been written in Hebrew, but I believe they're selling a lot of them off. Because I went there one Saturday and there were a lot of them were still open. So most of them were closed, but quite a few were open. Yep. If you saw the movie Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler, that was set in the Diamond District. The first Spider-Man movie, Spidey catches a criminal in the Diamond District. Okay, on your right now, here on your right, we have, this is the main branch of the New York Public Library, designed by Carrera and Hastings. In front of the library, there are two lions named Patience and Fortitude. And above the door to the library, where the statues are, there are the names of the three private libraries that were donated to New York City to form the NYPL, the Astor Library, the Linux Library, and the Tilden Trust. Now, this main branch is only used for research. You can't take a book out. They have a great exhibit on here called Treasures of the Library, which some of the things they have on display in there include an original Gutenberg Bible, an original draft of the Declaration of Independence, and the original Winnie the Pooh dolls that were owned by the real Christopher Robin. Yeah, it was A.A. Milne's inspiration for the Winnie the Pooh books. Now, this might upset some people, but it's true. Winnie the Pooh is now in public domain, so they're making a horror movie about Winnie the Pooh. It's called like Blood and Honey or something stupid like that. So, now if you want to take a book out, you have to come here to your left to this library. How do you pronounce that? The Stravos Nera? I can't pronounce that. It's like it's speaking Greek. Now, the NYPL has branches in Manhattan, the Bronx, and Staten Island. But Brooklyn and Queens each have their own private library. Okay, on your right here is the old Lord & Taylor building. Lord & Taylor was the oldest department store in New York. It was founded in 1826, but it went out of business because they could no longer compete with e-commerce, unfortunately. Much like Neiman Marcus in Dallas, a number of other retail chains. So guess who bought this building? Amazon. Talk about being eaten by the beast that killed you, huh? All right, and soon, towering above us, will be the Empire State Building. Look up and see the Empire State Building in a moment. Now, the Empire State Building opened in the year 1931. Does anybody know how long it took to build the Empire State Building? Take a guess. 17 years? Anybody have another guess?
20.
20 years? 30 years? Try 13 months.
Whoa.
13 months. Everything was built in 13 months. Every electrical socket, every light switch, every bathroom fixture, everything was ready, open for business in 13 months. Came in $5 million under budget, 45 days ahead of schedule. It was estimated that the mass weight of all the steel in the Empire State Building would equal the mass weight of every man, woman, and child living in the United States at the time. Mind you, that's before the obesity epidemic. Anybody here a fan of the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? There on your left, that's the old B. Altman department store building. And that is where, on the show, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Midge Maisel works at B. Altman. That's where it used to be. So now the Empire State Building, when it opened in 1931, it was the tallest building in the world. The record had been held for over 40 years. And when it opened, though, it had very few tenants. People called it the Empty State Building. And it didn't turn a profit until well after World War II, but it caught the attention of Hollywood right away when a certain ape climbed to the top of the building with Fay Ray. And later it was where Deborah Carr and Cary Grant met in an affair, remember?